Now, first things first, let's talk about Nicki Minaj. And yes, that powerful UN speech everyone's been buzzing about. For days, people have been waiting for this moment. Her supporters full of excitement, her critics watching closely, and of course, those paid moles just waiting for a single mistake. Everyone was on standby, ready to twist whatever she said into something controversial. Some people were literally waiting for a chance to say, see, Nicki's just backing Trump, trying to push that same tired narrative that's been floating around these past few days. But, Nicki, or should I say, OnikaTanyaMaraj, she didn't just show up. She owned that stage. She made her message so clear and spoke with such confidence that even her haters had nothing real to use against her. Of course, they still tried to clip small parts of her speech. You know how the internet works, but if you listened to the full thing, it was obvious. This wasn't about politics. It wasn't about left or right. It was about something deeper: human decency, respect, and the right for everyone to have freedom of worship. Now, let's rewind a little. Let's talk about her entrance. Because, oh my God, people were waiting for that too. From the moment she appeared, all eyes were glued to her. Everyone wanted to see what she was wearing, how she carried herself, and let me tell you, she did not disappoint. Nicki walked in with pure grace. Her outfit, spot on, classy, elegant, and totally appropriate for the occasion. Her figure was beautifully styled without being over the top. Everything was balanced and tasteful. The way she walked, the confidence in her steps, it was like she knew. This was her moment. And let's talk about the visuals for a second. The hair, flawless. The makeup, absolutely on point. Before she even said a word, she was already proving people wrong. You know those false stories people keep spreading, saying she's unstable or losing it? Yeah, she shut all that down the second she stepped in. Because when you looked at her, you saw a woman completely in control. Well-dressed, calm, focused, and clearly aware of the impact she was about to make. And then, when she finally walked up to the podium, you could just feel it. She knew exactly what she came there to do. Nicki didn't just give a speech. She understood the assignment, and she delivered it flawlessly. And honestly, she delivered. Not that I ever doubted she would, because if you've watched my earlier video, I already said it. When it comes to Nicki Minaj, there's something magnetic about how she speaks. The way she articulates herself just pulls you in. She doesn't overdo it. She doesn't try to crack jokes where they don't belong or force herself to be funny just for attention. She knows when to be serious, when to be warm, and when to be witty. That balance, that control, is something not everyone has. And then there's the way she cooks. A lot of people treat that like it's some kind of negative thing. But if you've ever worked in a professional or corporate environment, you know exactly how powerful that skill is. Being able to adjust your tone, your words, your presence depending on the setting, that's not fake. That's maturity. Because let's be real, you can't stand at a UN podium, representing something as meaningful as faith and human dignity, and start throwing around curse words or making wild expressions. That's just not the place for it. There's a time and a space for everything. And Nicki understood that perfectly. She knew when to be composed, when to express emotion, and when to let her message shine louder than her personality. That's growth. That's professionalism. I also feel like these days, too many people confuse illiteracy with authenticity, as if being unfiltered or careless automatically means being real. It's such a common mindset, especially among those who support certain public figures who can't seem to separate being raw from being reckless. People will say, oh, we love her because she's authentic. But come on, being authentic doesn't mean being disrespectful or unaware of your ignorance is not authenticity, and that's why Nicki's speech stood out so much to me. She showed what it means to have range, to know how to adjust your energy and still stay true to yourself. So yeah, overall, I was impressed. She carried that moment with class and conviction. If you've watched the speech, let me know what you thought in the comments. I'd really love to hear your take. And for those who haven't seen it yet, don't worry. I've got you covered. I'll include the full speech at the end of this video. But my verdict: easy. That speech gets a solid 10 out of 10 from me. Nicki did exactly what she was supposed to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Her speech wasn't overly long or dragged out. It was short, sharp, and straight to the point, the kind of message that lands cleanly without any unnecessary fluff. And what really stood out to me was how she made it absolutely clear that she wasn't taking any political sides. Because let's be honest, if she hadn't clarified that, we all know what would have happened next. Those same media outlets would have twisted it into some wild headline claiming Nicki Minaj supports insert name here. And you know what's crazy? Some people still tried it. I saw a certain Twitter page, I won't name names, but you probably know the one. They literally clipped out the part where she said she's not taking sides. Like, they purposely cut that out and only kept the section where she thanked the president for taking a stand. Then they went ahead and made it look like her entire speech was just about that. That's how desperate some of these platforms have become. They couldn't find anything wrong with her actual words. Nothing controversial. Nothing messy. So instead, they manufactured something. They pieced together half-truths just to fit a narrative. They wanted to push. But here's the thing about the Barbs. They don't play around. Nicki's fans were on it the moment they saw that fake clip making rounds. They flooded the comments, called out the lies, and demanded the post be taken down. And guess what? One of those blogs actually had to delete the video because the Barbs were on their necks, and rightfully so. And honestly, it blows my mind that people could take an issue as serious and heartbreaking as what's happening in Nigeria, where real lives are being lost, and try to turn it into some kind of fan war. Like, seriously? Reducing human suffering to stand drama? That's just beyond disgusting. There's a line between making lighthearted jokes online and being completely insensitive. And a lot of people clearly don't see that line anymore. Trying to twist something as delicate and painful as that just to make Nicki look bad is not only misleading, it's downright inhumane. You can crack jokes about harmless things, sure. But when you start mocking or distorting situations that affect people's actual lives, that's not funny. That's pathetic. And in my opinion, anyone doing that just to push an agenda needs to take a long, hard look at themselves. Because at that point, it's not about entertainment or commentary anymore. It's about lack of empathy. To take a message that's about humanity, compassion, and respecting one another's beliefs, and then twist it into something ugly, that's beyond petty. That's evil. Let's be honest. To distort a message like that just to stir drama or get clicks, that's not just wrong, it's wicked. And honestly, I can't help but wonder whoever's running that account, whoever's posting on that blog, whoever's behind those edits, how do you even sleep at night? Because while you're out there chasing attention and twisting words, there are real people in Nigeria who are suffering and dying because of extremism. This isn't entertainment. It's not gossip. It's life and death. So really, what are you doing? What's the purpose of all that negativity? But anyway, let's move on to something lighter. Because there was another moment from Nicki's UN appearance that definitely warmed my heart. Still connected to the same event after her powerful speech, it looks like Nicki Minaj was gifted a Barbie hoodie from the UN team. A cute, bright pink hoodie. Of course, very on brand for her. And honestly, I just smiled when I saw that. Because wherever this woman goes, she has this natural energy that makes people fall in love with her. It's like she walks into a room and instantly wins hearts. Not by trying too hard, but just by being herself. Of course, there were a few haters trying to twist even that moment. Some were like, wow, she spoke with so much wisdom. I'm actually surprised. And I'm just sitting there thinking, surprised? Really? This is exactly what I mean when I talk about how easily people fall for the propaganda. Why would you be shocked that Nicki Minaj spoke intelligently? If you're surprised by that, it only proves you've never truly paid attention to who she is. Because anyone who's actually listened to Nicki, not just skimmed headlines or gossip, knows that she's always been articulate, sharp, and insightful. So when people say, oh, I didn't know she was that smart, it just tells me they've been conditioned to hate her, to see her through the lens of whatever negative narrative the media keeps feeding them. Like, come on, it's 2025. How are we still acting shocked that Nicki Minaj, a woman who's been writing her own lyrics, commanding stages and shaping culture for over a decade, is smart, eloquent, and graceful? That kind of reaction doesn't expose Nicki, it exposes how little people actually know about her. Because if you really knew her, you'd know intelligence, elegance, and authenticity have always been a part of her brand. So really, what are you even hating on if you don't truly know who the real Onika is? You're judging her based on headlines, not her heart. But anyway, let's get back to the fun part. Because after her speech, when they gifted her that adorable Barbie hoodie, there was a little extra something that came with it. A tiny sprinkle of shade. Don't worry, I've got you completely covered. I'll be showing all the clips. I'm referencing so you can see it for yourself now, apparently. While everyone was celebrating the moment, some people decided to slip in a few subtle jabs, and it kind of came off like they were comparing Nicki to some of her peers. They made comments along the lines of, well, she's actually smart, unlike some others. And that's when social media went wild. People immediately started connecting dots, speculating that the remark might have been aimed at a certain someone, maybe Shamsh's though. To be fair, there's no solid proof of that. But let's be honest here. When it comes to female rappers, very few can go toe-to-toe with Nicki Minaj in an intellectual conversation. That's just facts. And that's one of the main reasons I've always admired her. Because when Nicki speaks, especially when she's serious, she's not just talking to make noise. She's teaching, she's sharing insight, and honestly, you can learn a lot just by really listening. It's rare to see that mix of talent, intellect, and authenticity in the industry today. Most artists stick to the surface level, but Nicki, she's never been afraid to go deeper. She's the same woman who's encouraged her fans to value education, to stay curious, to be articulate and confident. That's always been a huge part of her message. Not every rapper carries that kind of mindset. The drive to be smart, to elevate yourself, to know when to switch gears and handle things with grace. That's part of what makes Nicki so different, so magnetic. So yeah, I'll be inserting everything I mentioned, the clips of her receiving the gifts, that little bit of shade that got people talking, and of course, the full speech so you can see and judge it all for yourself. And as always, let me know in the comment section what you think about it, because I have a feeling this discussion is far from over.
Hello, everyone. I must say I am very nervous, so please, well, thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart. And entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way. I am inspired by their work to build interfaith ties, to see the humanity across the lines which might divide us, and to fight for security and liberty for all those who pray. I look forward to our discussion today, and I hope it will encourage deepened solidarity for us to urgently work together to ensure every person can enjoy the right to believe, to worship, and to live in peace. Barbs, I know you're somewhere listening. I love you so very much. You have been the ultimate light in my life and career for so long. I appreciate you, and I want to make it very clear once again that this isn't about taking sides. This is about standing up in the face of injustice. It's about what I've always stood for my entire career, and I will continue to stand for that. For the rest of my life, I will care if anyone, anywhere, is being persecuted for their beliefs. Thank you.
And honestly, at the end of the day, what Nicki Minaj did on that stage wasn't just a speech, it was a statement. She reminded everyone that grace and intelligence will always outshine hate and noise. You can twist her words, you can cut her clips, but you can't change the truth that this woman stands for humanity, respect, and strength. And maybe that's what really bothers people, that she can be bold and kind, powerful and thoughtful, fierce and feminine, all at once. So yeah, whether you love her or not, one thing's for sure. Nicki Minaj just reminded the whole world that authenticity doesn't need approval. It just needs courage. Beat pause, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did she deliver or did she deliver? Because for me, this was Nicki in her purest form, unstoppable, unbothered, and unapologetically Onika.